Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we have a new series coming at you right now, just in time for the new Doctor Strange movie. So in this series, we're going to discuss 4 different Marvel properties we think will show up in the new Doctor Strange movie. In our 3rd episode of the series, we discuss I'd say, a pretty solid show, Loki. I mean, wouldn't you, Danny?
Solid, yeah.
Solid, yeah. It introduced a lot of stuff, what's the word I'm looking for?
Fantastical.
Backstory, a lot of backstory.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of it broke open the multiverse.
Yeah.
This is the show. We thought it was going to be Spider-Man. No. Loki broke this open and introduced a lot of stuff to come for Phase 4, and I'm very excited for it. All right. So Loki. This show, we watched the show together, and we've watched all these shows together.
Yeah.
And
when they were airing,
when they were airing live,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this show had me interested from the get-go. It was one of the best intros to a show I've seen for the MCU Disney Plus shows, at least.
Yeah, I mean, well, because it picked up right as we were going from Endgame, and then it would kind of split off another timeline.
Yeah.
Not
Loki gets captured by the TVA, the Time Variance Authority.
Yeah.
So, and then meet this guy, Mobius, Owen Wilson.
I gotta say Mobius and not Morbius.
Yeah, it's Mobius. He just wants to help, kind of make everything right with time, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know his actual job title, but he prunes the timelines when they get out of hand.
Yes.
And I wonder if this is kind of off topic, but in Endgame he says Tony Stark says a reverse Mobius strip to figure out time travel. Did Mobius create that, or is he named Mobius because
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
It could just be a
nickname or
coinky
something.
dink, but who knows?
Coinky
Yeah, I said coinky dink. Is that a problem?
No, not at all. No.
Okay, good. But yeah, the scene that I want to talk about with episode 1 is the one where it's just Mobius and Loki going through his past and everything he doesn't remember because it's a different timeline. Loki,
Right.
That's
interesting.
A very dramatic scene, him seeing himself die from Thanos' hand, and him lose, I guess, his mother, and then Thor, and seeing how emotional Thor gets when he loses his brother, and just their bond. It was.
I think that was a way to get Loki from the evil Loki that we know in 2012, and give him all that character development we've seen for 7 years after that, to get him to the point where he was in Endgame or in Infinity War before he died. And I think they did an okay job. Very quick, but they got the job done. So
yeah, it was quick, but it was important. Very important for his character to develop this way, and Mobius too. Is nice little introduction to his character as well. In episode 2, they find out they're hunting another Loki, so we don't know who this Loki is till the end of the episode. But they're just going through time. They go to Pompeii. It's oh, nothing matters. We can do whatever we want. This thing's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. And then they have the moment where they're just oh, wait, that's where the Lokis could be hiding, because it's the end of the world and nothing changes no matter what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
So
these events, they're Nexus events, and they're going to happen no matter what. Mm-hmm. Like we talked about 2 weeks ago with Spider-Man and his, great power comes great responsibility Nexus event. Mm-hmm. So I just really said that fast. But yeah, and we find out Mobius wants, he wants to jet ski. He just wants to live his life on a jet ski and just chill. He wants the jet ski.
I like that
man.
little character quirk. He just wants a jet ski,
He's
man.
Quirky man. He's a quirky guy. At the end of the episode, we find out Sylvie, Lady Loki, is doing all this, and we don't know why, but then Loki decides to follow her into one of those doorways.
Yep.
And that's where the episode ends. But Mobius is don't do it.
Yeah.
And all
because he's going to get corrupted. And, I like the world building in this entire show. They really add a whole entire aspect to the Marvel universe we haven't seen
Speaking of world
before.
building, episode 3, there's a lot of world building in episode 3.
Yep.
You see this new planet, it's very Blade Runner / what is it?
Guardians? I got a Guardians.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's kind of purple.
Yeah. It was really cool set design, really good production design in this whole show. But you see Sylvie's character is very different from Tom Hiddleston's Loki, let's come to an understanding type deal.
Yeah, well, because he had all that character development in episode 1 real quick, and then, because he understands the stakes of, like, what their situation, and then, Sylvie's just like,
ruthless.
Like, let's just destroy everything. Yeah. She wants to, some men just want to watch the world burn.
Exactly. So it's cool to see that.
Yeah.
And there's also this weird romance type thing they might have going on.
Which is weird. I want a quick segment. Is that incest? Is that, like... What is that? If they get romantically,
I want to myself type of deal.
Yeah, like what's the whole thing behind that? I don't know.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't really know where to go with that.
It's like you're having sex, or you want to have sex. You're romantically attracted to yourself.
It doesn't mean it's sex. It's just like, oh, I like this person. It could just be like, it's not necessarily like...
Yeah, it's very narcissistic, which fits Loki. So, yes. Okay.
We also find out in this episode that the TVA are variants themselves, which is very cool. Like, oh.
Yeah, so it's like, how do you become how do you become part of the TVA if you're already a variant? Because there's like, Loki comes in as a prisoner.
Yeah.
Like, how do you work your way up from a prisoner to an official,
See, there's a lot unknown about the TVA, but we'll get back to that in just a little bit. Then there's this one shot at the end of the episode where it's literally a one shot of, the planets coming down to crash onto them. And it's like a very well done one shot. Like, you can see the cuts and everything, but like, it's very
energetic
very energetic, very well done.
Yeah.
Very, very well done.
Well, yeah, Marvel's getting better and better at doing one shots. Like we talked about 2 weeks ago in No Way Home. Mm-hmm. There was that one shot at the beginning where everyone's in a panic and he's like going around the apartment and you're turning off or pulling down the shades and stuff. So that was really well done. They really got their blocking down really, really well.
Yeah, and obviously the Spider Sense scene too.
Spider Sense,
in the apartment. So, yeah. So well done. Anyway, episode 4, action-packed with hints of conspiracy going on in the TVA. So Sylvie was literally just taken from Asgard because like they probably saw her potential or something like that to be evil, so they just took her.
Yeah, it's unclear how exactly was a variant or what she was going to do that was incorrect or whatever. So
yeah,
and it kind of
so she's trying to get revenge. Basically.
Her whole story is like she was unfairly taken from her timeline.
Yes,
very just out of the blue. No explanation why, and it's very it's like kind of like Kang's plan,
because
which we'll get to.
The timekeepers. So these timekeepers, they were kind of alluded to in the previous few episodes, but they came full force in this episode, where they're just on the wall, just there.
They're just the gods of the Marvel universe for what we know. Mm-hmm. The gods of gods.
But we find out they're just pawns. Yeah, they're not real.
Yeah, they're not real.
Yeah. And
it's like the Wizard of Oz moment where it's like the guy behind the curtain, which we'll find out.
In episode 6, but we're not there yet. But Loki gets pruned at the end of this episode and meets all his other variants.
Yep.
So
great episode. I think this episode is like they have something weird. The penultimate episode of a Marvel series is usually the best one. Mm-hmm. I like the Hawkeyes too, where that was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like WandaVision is like my favorite episode in that show. But yeah, this Loki episode is great. It's kind of like just a character development. They were somehow made old Loki or classic Loki the fan favorite character aside from Alligator Loki.
Then there's Crokey. Yeah, Crokey. Don't forget about him.
Crokey.
Yeah, I call him Crokey. I know he's an alligator, but he's...
Well, is he an alligator? Is alligator? Alligator's the bigger ones, right?
It's alligator Loki, but like I just like to say Crokey because it sounds better. So yeah, they're basically stuck in limbo. You can get to see a nice little Easter egg of the Thanos copter. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
You see little Thor, like Frog Thor, stuck in a glass, reaching for his hammer, but he can't get it.
Yeah. Little tidbits that are fun to include.
And then Mobius and Sylvie come to rescue Loki and all that junk. The goodbye between Loki and Mobius. So
that's technically the last time they see each other.
Exactly. Glorious purpose, literally just like You Shall Not Pass. That was really well done.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember watching a TikTok where just like the CGI in DC and it's like just a close up of Henry Cavill's like fake mouth. And then it's like the CGI in Marvel, and it's just Loki just like lifting up the entire city of Asgard, building it from ground up.
Yeah,
you can't beat it. It's really good.
And then we get this tease of the castle at the end of the episode. This castle floating in space.
Yep.
So that's where episode 6 kicks off, where He Who Remains, aka a Kang variant, is literally the one that was
He's the good Kang.
He was the one pulling the strings the whole time.
Yeah.
He talks about this multiversal war where it was the war to end all wars, and he was the one that ended it.
Yeah.
So he made everything kind of peaceful in the timelines. And
yeah, I'd like to see that multiversal war
yeah,
between them. If maybe that's like a spin-off movie or something.
The first Thor movie where they like did that flashback to just all the fighting at the beginning of the first Thor. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, world building. Like because this show did great with world building, so
or
they
even
could do
like
a lot more.
Lord of the Rings-esque too. Like,
yeah,
could have done the same thing.
Yeah, like we said.
Yeah, Loki gets kicked back in a doorway or whatever. Sylvie stabs Kang, kills him. The Kang variant, he who remains, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, whatever.
So is she gonna be like in charge of this now? Like we don't know.
I think she completed her mission. She tore down the entire system, and now with like one of the last shots of the show is that or the season that is all the different timelines splitting off, and I'm like, oh my god, the multiverse is cracked open. Anything is possible now,
man.
It's awesome, man.
Absolutely burst open, and that one scene where it's slowly zooming into Kang, and he said, "We just crossed the threshold."
Yeah,
it's like, ooh,
that times out perfectly with the creation of Scarlet Witch in WandaVision. Same time code and everything, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
that could be a huge coincidence, or that could be something.
I think it's timed out just
with
right.
Glorious purpose.
Yeah.
Let's get into our theories about Multiverse of Madness and what from Loki, if anything, is going to get into that. Loki, Mobius, Sylvie, are any of them going to show up in this? I mean,
Doctor Strange the movie's already bloated enough, and as we talked about last week, it was rumored that it was 2.5 hours long, but now it's 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's a lot of stuff to include in 2 hours, and including these like side characters basically in a show that's already tangential to the actual movie. I think that's going to be way too much to include.
I think if anything, it would be Sylvie because she's still like in that castle. They might end up at that castle at some point in the movie because they're jumping through timelines. They're going to be jumping through different timelines in this movie. So
now I'm confused on which event is causing the events in this movie. Is it Spider-Man No Way Home with like the spell being messed up, or is it Loki or Sylvie killing Kang, creating the multiverse, opening it up?
Dude,
anything
is up for grabs in this. We don't know.
They got to find a way to mix the two together because otherwise I don't want No Way Home to be kind of like a footnote, but I also don't want to have to pick between the two to make a coherent story because then one of them is going to be irrelevant,
Yeah. I think the biggest thing with Loki is it busted the multiverse open. I think that is the biggest part that's going to show up in this movie. Like it'll probably be alluded to, but if anything, I think a Kang variant is going to be in the Illuminati. That's what I think.
Oh, he's got to show up. It's been what? It's been 2 years, a year and a half since we've seen him, so it's kind of primed to make a new appearance. A year? Oh my god, this year's been going by so slowly. Oh my god. But yeah, I'm excited. I like Jonathan Majors. I love his performance. We didn't mention it in episode 6, but that entire thing was basically just a monologue. That entire episode, just 20 minutes of him talking.
He's fantastic, and it kept you interested too. Like everything he was saying, it was all world building and all exposition, but it was so well done.
Yeah.
So, man, so excited. So, that's all I have. But like the Illuminati. Like, it would make the most sense for a variant of him to show up.
Yeah, I think
as one of the 6.
I'd like a little more teasing of like a good Kang. He Who Remains kind of was neutral. I'd like to see a Kang that's kind of fighting for the good of the universes. Because
we're gonna get bad Kang in Quantumania in another year.
Because he's gonna be the main villain of that
Conqueror.
movie.
We're gonna get him in that.
All right, yeah, I like this because I don't know too much about the Marvel comics. I hear he's like the next one of the big bads other than Galactus and Thanos. So, I'm excited to see him, but I want him to be just right, where I want him to be primed to have a good villain turn. So,
all right, I think it's a natural ending point for this episode. But yeah, we've seen it before, and this series is one of the best definitely like one of our favorites we put together.
Yeah.
So everything from Spider-Man No Way Home, WandaVision the last 2 weeks, to Loki this week, and What If next week, all leading up to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness 2 weeks from now. No,
2 weeks.
1 week. No, 1 week from now.
1 week?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Dude, it's a week away.
This is going to be crazy.
Oh, God. I lose my mind. Anyway, so keep an eye out for our podcast on that the day it comes out, May 6th. For now, it's been an honor. We'll see you next week for What If.
Ah!